40 is the new 30. Say what? No, 40 is the new 40. Don't be afraid to turn 40, ladies. It's not the end of the world, and don't conflate it with another decade like 30s or 20s, because you know what? It is an amazing feeling to turn 40, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on how I feel about turning 40. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I feel about 40. As society, we tend to look at 40 as kind of being the end of the world, so much so that we become uncomfortable with facing the number, and we have to use a comparison with a younger decade in order to make ourselves feel better. I'm thinking, let's change our mindset. 40 doesn't have to be a bad thing. 40 can actually mean the start of something better. New promises, new goals, new aspirations that can make this decade the one that matters most and your best decade yet. I turned 40 at the beginning of 2022 and I embraced it. I actually reflected about it a few days prior, and it actually excited me that every day that we get to celebrate new life is a blessing. That includes turning a whole new decade older. When I finally reached the day, I was excited. I even had my sister come over and help me do a mini photo shoot to celebrate the milestone. We enjoyed, I had a little bit of champagne while we took photos, and I thought to myself, you know what? It's an exciting thought, the idea of turning 40 and what 40 means for me. I was speaking with a coworker who was telling me a story about when she and her friends turned 50, and they did 50 things to celebrate 50. They did different activities, big and small, to acknowledge the milestone birthday. And I thought, that's a great idea. Far too many times we don't acknowledge things that we're happy about and proud about, and we don't celebrate those things as much as we should. I decided to adopt that idea and celebrate 40 things for 40. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of these ideas of things that I wanna do this year to celebrate the 40th milestone. And it's not an entire list of 40 items. I'm just gonna preview with you a few of the ones that I have thought about. So let's start with number one, picnic in the park. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but again, these are activities that are big and small. Funny enough, a few years ago, I got married and one of my friends gave me a cute little gift. So at first glance, it is a backpack, but when you open the backpack, there are actually items for a picnic. So how cute is that? Cutlery, wine glasses, plates, and a few other things here to help make your picnic complete. I've not even used this. I've been married 5 years this year. No better time to break this out than this year and to celebrate 40 by having a picnic in the park. Of course, it's winter, so there will be no picnicking, at least outdoors. But that doesn't mean that I can't picnic inside the comfort of my house. I definitely haven't been on a picnic in a long time, so why not in my 40th year? Number two, high tea. Currently, I'm drinking coffee, but I love high tea. And we have a few great places around the city. If you've never been, I suggest you go, and it's a nice ambiance, and it's always great finger food, sandwiches, cookies, and scones. Just a nice afternoon out with your friends, or if you want to go with your partner as well, you can do that, or dare I say alone. Dress up, wear a nice hat for an afternoon, and having some high tea. So, cheers. Would you like a crumpet? Number three, a photo session. Now that can be individual or it can be a family session. Since my wedding, I have not done a photo shoot with my husband because we pretty much entered a pandemic shortly after, and there was really no opportunity to take photos during that time. I think it'd be a great opportunity to mark a new transition of life, but also to have more updated and current photos of my husband and myself. Number four, now I'm no Tim Allen, but I definitely know I need some home improvement. Always so flabbergasted by is how simple some home improvement projects can be. All you need to know is how to use the tools, have access to the tools, and have the materials required to complete the job. One thing I was discussing with one of my friends was getting involved in these skills in order to know how to do them and to do them for yourself, to eliminate the middleman, of course, but also to have a sense of satisfaction that, yes, I can do these things without having to rely on the services of somebody else. Sometime throughout this year, we're gonna do either classes or solicit the help of someone that we know that knows how to do these things, where they can teach us these skills. One goal that I'd like to do is an accent wall of some form. So that's something that's on my list of something I'd like to accomplish. And I think this year, as my 40th year, would be a great time to start to learn these types of skills. Number 5, a gratitude journal or jar. At the end of every week, on a colored piece of paper, jot down one thing from that week that I am grateful for, so that at the end of the year, I can read the slips back to myself, see what are some of the things that happened to me this year that I had immense gratitude for. Number 6, take a spontaneous trip over a weekend. And that can be to places that are not that far away from you. So for example, for me, it could be Niagara Falls, it could be the city of Toronto, it could be up north in Collingwood for a night or two. And it would just be nice to get away and see and explore what are the things that they have in and around the area. Number 7, mani and pedi. And not just once, but regularly. Have you seen these nails? And dare I never show you my toenails, but I think that that's something for sure that I need to get into the habit of doing more often rather than doing it sparingly, which has been my practice. Number 8, spa day. For my birthday, my husband got me a spa gift certificate, and I'm going to be using that in the near future. I'm just going to implement the idea of going to a spa regularly throughout the year. Maybe it might be quarterly, once per season, chance to enjoy and indulge a little bit by doing some more wellness activities for self-care. Number 9 is going to be a big venture. So my mother is actually also celebrating a milestone birthday this year. She's turning 70, and one thing we have planned for the past few years is taking a big trip to celebrate our milestone birthdays. We have decided upon a trip to Europe because neither one of us have been to Europe. So it would be an opportunity to see somewhere new, to explore, but also for an opportunity of relaxation, either staying in one country for the entire time, or depending on the feasibility of traveling between 2 different countries, we plan to see either Italy, Croatia, or even Greece. That's going to be later on this year. I'm looking forward to the trip because it's been a long time in the making, and it's just an opportunity for my mother and I to travel together to celebrate our milestone birthday. Number 10. With all this talk of wellness and self-care, I cannot neglect the importance of physical self-care. One of my goals for my 40th is definitely that of a fitness goal, to build muscle. And that may require that I join a gym because I can only do so much in the comfort of my home with the limited resources of weights that I have. I want to allow 40 to be one of my peak opportunities to care for myself in a physical way, prepare my body for what's to come in my 40th decade of life, to make sure that I have the range of motion that I want, mobility, all those types of things. I know it sounds silly because of course 40 is not old, but you know, when you're not being as active as you should be, a lot of those types of things become limited, and that only again increases in severity as you age. And my last activity for today's list would be number 11, go to the theater. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the theater as in a movie theater, but it could be the theater as in going to see a play or a musical. And it also could extend into other art forms for culture, which includes the art galleries or museums that we have around the city. A few years back, I went to the Ripley's Aquarium Jazz Night that they have, and it was a great time. They had great music, drinks, food, and then you were able to tour the aquarium at night night. So that's something that I definitely want to do more of as part of just activities to celebrate 40. That ends my list so far of things that I want to do to celebrate 40, or 40 things for 40. And if you have turned 40 recently, or other milestone birthdays that you might have celebrated recently and have done something similar, like a bucket list of items that you want to do or activities you want to do, feel free to drop it down in the comments section to let me know what are some things you've done or will do to celebrate your milestone. If you found today's video helpful, what you can do to celebrate your milestone birthday, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm looking forward to chronicling these different activities throughout this year. And if you are interested in seeing how these things turn out for me or want to get some ideas, please don't forget to tune in to the videos to come. Until the next time, be safe, enjoy, and have a great day. Bye, guys.